What's up, guys? Late Night Cast back here. Wanted to come on here and talk about the latest starting pitching happenings in free agency and trade this offseason. 3 big ones today, and how it impacts the Braves or doesn't impact the Braves, and how I'm feeling as of now about the rotation. But let's get to it. Tyler Glasnow traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm already sick of saying the Los Angeles Dodgers. Just again jealous, and they've got money growing on trees. But Tyler Glasnow to the Dodgers, along with center fielder Manuel Margot for right-handed pitcher Ryan Pepiot. I hope I said that right. And outfielder Johnny DeLuca. Couple of prospects, and obviously in the Rays way, they're not going to spend $25 million on Glasnow. Glasnow is amazing, which he was slated to make this year. Glasnow is amazing, but pun intended here, he's been made of glass with a multitude of injuries over the last handful of years, limited him to a 10-7, 3.53 ERA. So I'm not saying this isn't a good grab for the Dodgers, and it definitely is, no doubt about it. But will Tyler Glasnow be able to give you 20, 25 starts? He's been basically 10 to 15, 10 to 17, and something catastrophic happens to him. So maybe change mechanically or something of that nature. I don't know. Manuel Margot is a nice depth piece, gives you a lot of good defense. 4 homers, 39 RBIs for the Rays last year. Really good depth piece, and you can never have too many of those. But again, the Rays do what the Rays do, shed payroll and somehow find their way back into the playoffs. So I don't expect anything less in these 2 prospects. Especially Ryan Pepiot might become an all-star right before our eyes, because that's what the Rays do. The other deals today, 2 years, $22 million for Tyler Mahle, formerly of the Minnesota Twins. Only had 3 starts last year for the Minnesota until he unfortunately went down with Tommy John surgery. And he had Tommy John surgery in May, is supposed to pitch this season, but 2 years, $22 million for the Texas Rangers. A nice depth piece, but again, starting pitching costs a lot, and it's worth gold, because you're only going to maybe get a year and a half out of Tyler Mahle, and he's got $22 million. He's a really nice veteran piece and something to look forward to, but starting pitching is just super, super expensive, and that's just the way it is. And the other deal, Jack Flaherty, 1 year, $14 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. I think this is, excuse me there, and more of a prove-it deal for Jack Flaherty, who had a really rough type of year. Just couldn't get it together with St. Louis, really. Just a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of walks. And then Jack Flaherty was traded to Baltimore because they really needed pitching, and he ended up in their bullpen in the latter half of September. It was just not really that great for him. He ended the year 8-9 with a 5.02 ERA. But I think this is a good get for Detroit. Veteran, they've already got Kenta Maeda with Scoble and Matt Manning and those guys, the young guys. So I think it's a really good mix in Detroit, and there's no bad 1-year deals, especially when it comes to pitching. But for everybody freaking out, yeah, we do, as the Braves, need a starting pitcher or 2, but I think we'll just settle for 1, especially this year. But it's likely not going to come from the free agent pack. it'll likely come from trades because he's only signed free agent starting pitchers to 1-year deals. In his Alex Anthopoulos' tenure as a Atlanta Braves GM. So it'll likely become from a trade. If it does come, there is speculation that we will wait until the trade deadline when although prices will go up, but we will have an extra $4.5 million to spend thanks to the Marco Gonzalez, Jared Kelenic deal. So there is speculation there that will be the case. But I want us to trade for someone or get someone, whether that be a Jordan Montgomery or something we're not even thinking of. Just because this year our starting pitching will be solid with Spencer Strider, Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Bryce Elder, and then AJ Smith-Shawver or Hurston Waldrop or somebody else in the farm system as we sit right now. Excuse me, jeez. But I think it's probably unfair to think that Hurston Waldrop and AJ Smith-Shawver aren't going to have bumps in the road just like Bryce Elder did in the second half, learning the MLB pitching schedule and pitching styles and how you gotta take care of your arm, take care of your body and all that stuff, kind of run into the rookie wall. And with the injury history of Max Fried and Charlie Morton, you're kind of going out on a limb a little bit without a lot of depth. So that's the scary part there. And usually Alex Anthopoulos thinks about present and future. And future in 2025, possibly without Max Fried. You have Spencer Strider locked up. And you have AJ Smith-Shawver and Hurston Waldrop in the fold. But Charlie Morton's likely going to retire. And addressing a rotation, trying to fill 3/5 of a rotation right now is pretty difficult to think about trying to do, especially how expensive starting pitching is. We've seen it all offseason. I think the lowest deal has been $10 million per. And obviously you do have Lopez, who we signed to a 3-year, $30 million deal, but I think he's better off as a hybrid. But he could prove me wrong in spring training, and he's going to get a chance to start. So that can be an option down the road as well, 2024 and beyond. So that's a little bit looking into the future. But it seems like the writing's on the wall that Max Fried is going to be gone, and probably to the evilness of the Dodgers. But I think we are okay. I mean, because you look at all of the deals, Sonny Gray, $375 for the Cardinals, $34 coming off a lot of injuries. Shohei Ohtani, obviously that's insane, and he's coming off his second Tommy John surgery, so he's not even going to pitch this year, and you don't know how he's going to react coming off his second. Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, $10 and $12 million respectively from the Cardinals. Those are great innings eaters and great veteran pieces, but I don't think that necessarily moves the needle. The Gray move does move the needle just a little bit for me. Cardinals wise, Aaron Nola was always going to go back to Philly, 7 years, 172. Going into his age 31 season, wasn't really as consistent last year, and faltered a little bit in some of the big games for Philly. Lately in the postseason, Kenta Maeda's deal I like with Detroit, 2 years, $24 million. But I mean, you got to make sure it fits your team, your clubhouse, the culture, things of that nature. And Tyler Glasnow, yeah, I'm glad he's. Oh, and that deal was contingent on an extension, which is likely to happen. I'm wondering what kind of money they're going to shell out to Tyler Glasnow, but I think they're going to regret that one just because of how frequent he gets injured. But a lot of starting pitchers are going off the market, and it's a little scary. But Alex Anthopoulos always has a plan, and I trust that plan. And it going into 2024 is our rotation star-studded and amazing and something I can hang my hat on right now necessarily? No, but it is solid. It is doable, and if we go in there with that, then that's what we do. But I have full trust in Alex Anthopoulos that he's going to get something done for our starting rotation for this year and next year. And we used 16 starting pitchers last year and won 104 games. That's not the amount of depth you want to use, but we're able to find it. And excuse me, geez, it was effective a lot of the time. So, and we still have some depth. Darius Vines, Dylan Dodd, those guys. And there's still a lot of off-season. It's not even Christmas yet. So I know a lot of the starting pitchers are coming off the board. Seth Lugo, 3 years, 45 with the Kansas City Royals. That was a primary target of mine. But again, 34 years old, 3 years, 45, transitioning to a full-time starting role completely. Where he'd been a hybrid before, that could be a little bit of especially, but we'll see there. I mean, with the starting pitchers going off the board, like I said, it is scary, but I have full trust in Alex Anthopoulos, and our rotation is solid the way it sits today. Could it be better? Most definitely, but as always, go Braves, champions forever. That is my take on that.